Hey there, Stampers. This is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada. And this is part 2 of what I think is going to be a 4-part video series where I work through the Snow Days scrapbooking workshop kit from Stampin' Up! So I will link in the description where you can find part 1. In that video, I share kind of like an unbagging, I guess we'll call it, because I opened up to the kit and I walk you through all the pieces. And I walk you through reading the instructions and cutting everything and sorting it. And then we created one 2-page spread, which was this one here. So the supplies of each one of our workshop kits contain enough supplies to create 3 2-page 12 by 12 layouts. So I'm going to have a video for each one of the 2-page layouts, and then whatever I have left, I will have a separate video as well. So for this first one, if you go back and watch it, then you'll see that I kept very close to what is in the instructions. I did make some slight modifications, and to see what those modifications are, just go back and watch the video. For the second spread, which is going to be this one with the green base. So this is layout number 3. I'm going to make a few more changes. And the reason for that is because I actually went through and printed some photos that I wanted to document that I thought would work really well with this collection. So my photos don't necessarily match up with the photo configuration on the layout. So I wanted to show you, if you have that kind of a situation, then I wanted to kind of explain, different ways that you can go about making that work for you. So what I have here is I have the sticker sheet. I have my photos. So for this particular layout, project number 3, it says 3 3x4 landscape, and landscape is going this way. And 2 4x6 portrait. Now I have 1 4x6 portrait and 4 3x4 portrait photos that I want to document on this layout. So I am going to have to make some changes. I've also got all of the pieces that are needed for layout 3. So I've got my photo placeholders, I've got my cut DSP, and also my background pieces as well. And I've kind of laid them out, but I will be making some changes. So now I'm going to flip to the back where it shows me the left page. And I'm just going to kind of roughly place my pieces out. So I really encourage you to read through the instructions, because actually I did not read through the instructions for the first one, and I realized that I made a mistake. So let me point that out. So here it's got, actually let me show you the actual, it's this one here. So here it does tell you how to assemble. So this journaling piece right here, I thought it was the sticker that was on the sticker sheet, but it was actually a piece of cardstock cut down to add your journaling to. So on this particular layout, on the second page, it does call for that journaling sticker, but I mean, I'm changing up the layout anyways. It's not a big deal. And I can just cut a piece of cardstock to add my journaling. I will probably add a tag to my layout instead. So just know that there's always creative solutions if you make a mistake. Okay, so we're going to take these photo placeholders out. So this is actually how, let me flip this over, and we can actually take these off. Oh, another thing I wanted to share, which I think I mentioned in the previous video, this is how I label, and I label it with a Post-it note rather than writing on the back, just in case I want to flip my pattern papers over and use the other side. And these, I just keep them, I'll show you in a moment here. Let me just peel them all off. Okay, I keep them in a little Ziploc baggie so that I can reuse them over and over. I mean, until the stickiness wears off, I guess. All right, so this is how the layout is intended to be assembled, is like this. And then this goes on here, and then we're going to put some strips from our sticker sheet on. So 1 4x6 photo is meant to go here, so I'm going to add that one on there. And then all of our others are meant to be on here. So I'm going to add these on here. It's going to make it look a little bit different. So I am going to trim this down. And the other thing is I'm not a fan of this candy cane pattern in here. I want something a little bit brighter, a little bit more solid. My style of scrapbooking, I tend not to do a lot of pattern paper. So having 3 different pattern papers like this is a bit much for me. I don't mind the look of it, and I actually almost prefer if I flip this over and use that and put that on there. I prefer the look of that because I feel like it blends in a little bit better with just little pops of color. But we've got this pattern going across the bottom. So we're repeating patterns here, which I don't like that. So I am actually going to omit this piece. But another thing I wanted to share with you is this piece actually is the same height as this. So you only see, if we go to this second page here, you only see like 1.5 inches here and 1/2 inch here. So that's a lot of wasted pattern paper in behind. So what I would do if I was keeping this like this, I would actually cut about a 2-inch strip and then a 1-inch strip. And I put my 2-inch strip here, my 1-inch strip here, and then I have this whole center bit that I could save and use on a future project. And you would just line those up with the edges, and this would cover over that gap. So it would give the illusion that it goes all the way across without having all that wasted pattern paper in behind. Okay, so that's a little tip. And that's why it's good to kind of place things out before you actually start sticking anything down. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside. And what I'm thinking is I thought I would back this white piece with a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock. So Poppy Parade, I believe, is the red. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the red that's in here. So I am going to trim down this white. So I just pulled out an 8.5 by 11 piece of Poppy Parade. And this is just gonna make those photos pop off that page a little bit more. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Now on this page, they do have a spot that they've left for journaling. Now I could leave this spot down here open for journaling, which actually I might end up doing. I don't know, we'll cut this piece first because that might be good to add my journaling down there. I was thinking of adding on a tag, but maybe we don't need to do that. So I'm gonna start by adhering my photos to my white pieces, and I'm going to speed this up so that it's not a really long video, and I'll kind of talk you through what I end up doing. Okay, so I'm adhering my photos to that white piece, and I trimmed it down. I did leave a little bit of space at the bottom where I will add my journaling, and you'll see that in the photos that I share over in the corresponding blog post, which will be linked in the description below. So I'm just measuring the height of that blue piece, or the pool party piece, and I cut my Poppy Parade the same length, and then I cut it so that it was a little bit wider. Now at this point, I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it like that. That is a little bit more of a red border than I initially thought I would want. So I'm just kind of letting it sit there until I decide if I want to keep that. But I decided I did need to bring over a little bit of Poppy Parade on the left-hand page. So I grabbed another scrap of Poppy Parade, and I'm going to cut it 4 1/4 by 5 or 6, 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, so that I have a little bit of a red pop behind my photo. And I love how that pulls in the red on the other page. Okay, so I'm pulling off the border strip here, and from the picture, this piece doesn't go as far as what it does in real life. So you can have it extend past the right-hand side of the page and trim it off if you want, which you'll see I do for the next layer, but I decided to keep it long. I don't mind it like that. I still have a gap at the end. And it also doesn't show that those pieces carry on to the second page, to the right-hand page. So here you'll see this petal pink strip will hang off the edge and I'll trim it. And then that extra piece, I just kind of put it back on the sticker sheet. And I'll be able to use it as a tuck in here somewhere. I thought I might use it on this page, but I didn't end up using it. All right, and then our smaller strip goes down here, our smaller strip of pattern paper. So I'm going to adhere that, and then I'll line up my 2 pages and add the longer strip on the right-hand side. So when you get these kits, so if you purchase any of our scrapbooking kits, workshop kits, I encourage you to go through your stash, especially if you're a card maker and you have a lot of Stampin' Up! Product. You will most likely have products that will coordinate with your whatever scrapbooking kit you purchase. So whether it's ribbon or twine or embellishments, pull those out and keep those with your kit, because they can often be just what you need to just kind of step up this layout a little bit more. You'll see how I incorporate some of those products on this layout a little bit later. Okay, so remember in the introduction to this video, I said to cut out the pool party bit. Well, I did not cut out the pool party DSP because at the point when I stuck it down, I wasn't sure if that Poppy Parade piece was going to go from top to bottom or if it was going to be smaller. Okay, in hindsight, I could have cut it down because I've got a lot of wasted pattern paper in behind there, but that's the reason why I didn't cut it down. All right, so I'm pulling off the stickers that I need to use for this layout. And again, just sticking them on a clear block until I'm ready for them. That's something that I shared in the first video. And here I'm showing you that I'm going to use the festive memories, and I thought maybe the Better Together. I don't end up using the Better Together. But here I want to stamp the festive memories in 2 different colors. So I chose some Garden Green and Poppy Parade, which are 2 of the colors that are in this pattern paper. And I'm going to stamp the whole thing in the Garden Green first, and then clean it and just stamp the festive in the Poppy Parade. And then I fussy cut those out because I wanted the word festive in Poppy Parade and the word memories in Garden Green. It's one of the great things about stamps is you can get multicolors. You can stamp it in whatever color you'd like. All right, so now I'm going to ink it just the word festive with Poppy Parade. And then I will fussy cut those out, and those are going to go on the right-hand page. Now, if you look at the instruction guide, there isn't really, well, there's the thing that says December 20th on the layout, and then there's Fun Day. There isn't really a bold title on this layout, so I thought that this festive memories would be perfect. These photos are actually of all of us, my parents, my brother and his family, and the 4 of us for Christmas. I think it was 2 years ago. And it was the first Christmas that my brother and, well, my parents have had all of us together since we were kids, since I left home. Well, no, since I got married, I guess I should say. We just have not, they live across the country in Halifax and we live in Western Canada. So we haven't had the opportunity to get together. So it was so fun to have all of us together and so great for my parents. So we took some family photos just kind of on the stairs in their house. And yeah, it was kind of fun. All right. And I don't know when it's going to happen again. So these photos are very special. Okay, so here I added those stickers off to the left, and now I'm popping up my title using dimensionals. And then this is where I need to step it up. Like I love to add embellishments and twine and all the things to my layouts. So you can leave it at this. It looks great just like this. But if you want to step it up a little bit, here are a few simple ways that you can do it. Like I said, if you've pulled out pieces that coordinate or that might work really well with the collection that you're working with, then it's easy to step it up. Oh, here, before we get into that, I'm just adding the fun day. And I'm popping that up using dimensionals. Now, just a reminder, if you don't have your photos on your layouts, you will want to not remove the backing from your dimensional that's going so that you can tuck your photo underneath there. Okay, so now it's time to embellish. So I had pulled out some of these snowflakes. These are part of the Snow Day collection that's in the holiday mini catalog. They're just tiny white snowflakes and they're so cute. So I thought, oh, I'm going to put 5 of them on here. So I just used some multi-purpose glue to stick them down. And then I'm feeling that there is something missing in the upper left corner. It feels like it needs a little something. But first, let's add twine. So when I got this collection, I pulled out some coordinating product, just like I suggested you do. And this, I think I said in the previous video that it was Poppy Parade and white twine, but I think it's actually Sweet Sorbet and white twine. But you can't tell. The reds are, the difference is so minute. Okay, so there I'm showing you. So I have all my scrap pieces tucked back in the cello bag. So I'm just pulling out the coordinating patterns of scraps that I have, and I'm going to cut a couple strips. So from the house paper, I'm going to cut about a 1/2 inch strip. It's maybe about 1/2 by 3, maybe not quite 3, maybe 2.5. And then I'm going to cut a little bit less than 1/2 here, maybe 1/4 inch or just a little bit more than 1/4 inch, and just eyeball it, just so I have a couple little strips to bring a little bit of pattern up to that top left corner. And those two are get layered and stuck on there. And because I only have one baker's twine bow on here, I add a second and then a third because I like to work in 3s. The other reason I thought having a little cluster at the top was I felt like I needed a 3rd little cluster of things. So I've really only got 2, unless you count the where it says fun day, but I wanted a 3rd little area. It's nice to be able to draw your eye in a triangle. So here, by having that top cluster, your eye goes from the top left down to the cluster just below that largest photo, and then over across and then back up, which is nice. So it covers the whole page. So I've added a baker's twine bow up there, and then I'm going to add 3 more of those little white snowflakes. And then I will add one last baker's twine bow over where my title is, and that pulls in the snowflakes and the twine in all 3 of my little clusters. So it makes the page kind of cohesive. And that is it. I love how it turned out. I am having so much fun with these workshop kits. I cannot wait to play with some of the other ones. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you give me a thumbs up. And if you are not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. And be sure to check out my upcoming events. If you want to work closely with these workshop kits, I have an event, a monthly event that I will be starting in October, and you can join from anywhere, whether you are local to me, anywhere else in Canada, or across the world. All right, thanks so much for watching.